So once again, I need to point out that over the last 40 years, we in the West have been spoiled by what a battlefield actually looks like because our measures have been things like Iraq and Afghanistan, the 1991 Gulf War, Grenada, or even the various conflicts during the 10 years of the Yugoslav War starting in 1991. These were conflicts and wars where massive swaths of land were easily taken by overwhelming force supported by air superiority. There was a common denominator, though. The U.S. was directly involved in them with their air superiority capability, which is unmatched by any country in the world. The U.S. has the strongest air capability of any country in the world, period. That is not what we have here in Ukraine. So to say this offensive has failed 46 days in is completely ignorant. As I said in previous videos, these battles resemble something out of World War I, not even World War II, and certainly not the Gulf War. In World War II, the Allied powers gained air superiority over Germany in February of 1944, months before D-Day. Neither Ukraine nor Russia have air superiority. Again, this is like World War I, which at the time seemed like it was stalemate operations, but we all know it ended in victory for the good guys. In fact, the Battle of Verdun in France lasted 302 days. We are on day 46. And on day 46 of the Battle of Verdun, no one knew that France would be the victor 8 months later. In fact, Germany was advancing on day 46, but 8 months later, France was victorious. How? Well, France slowly gained artillery superiority, just like Ukraine has slowly gained artillery superiority in many places on the front lines today. Another similarity, in 1915, the US started shipping supplies to the UK to distribute to the Allies in France and Italy, and they started to arrive en masse in France right before the Battle of Verdun. Sound familiar? During the counteroffensives that took place in the Battle of Verdun, the village of Fleury changed hands 16 times. Bakhmut has changed hands once. I don't know the outcome of the current offensive in Ukraine, but it is far from decided. The fact that Ukraine is taking territory against Russia was never supposed to happen. None of us in the planning and strategy realm ever foresaw Russia failing so badly. Russia was the second best military in the world, invading a bordering neighbor, supposedly with a sympathetic population. This war should have been won by Russia a year ago. I mean, the Gulf War lasted 6 months with the ground invasion lasting 100 hours. The Iraqis were the fifth largest standing army in the world using Soviet equipment. The U.S. deployed its forces 6,900 miles to the Middle East, ejected Iraq from Kuwait, and owned the country in the time it takes a single Major League Baseball season. At the onset of this war in Ukraine, Russia was supposedly the number 2 military, and Ukraine was ranked 25th, and this was in 2021, just ahead of Thailand. There is no excuse for Russia's failures here. None. So just because this Ukrainian offensive is not leading to a victory 100 hours after it started, doesn't mean it's automatically a loss for Ukraine. Just ask France.